Chapter 5, A Good Father. This chapter will have necromancy, so a little dark, as it also contains dark magic, also a travel chapter. Well, the necromancy part is at the end of this fanfic chapter. Princess Twilight found the cold shoulder being lifted and quickly learned why. Somehow there was an illusion spell put over her horn that makes it look like it used to, and she was pretty sure she cast upon herself while thinking about it in her sleep. She also found out that when she summons King Sombra's spirit, she is the only one who can see and hear him while wearing that magic band. He was telling her everything he could about her mother, and since they made the unbreakable vow, they can't risk breaking the condition they placed upon for each other. During a friendship mission with her friends, Princess Twilight met the one who is supposed to be a spy for the Time Ghosts, Max's close friend, Soul Forger, who's apparently taken on an apprentice. After the friendship mission, she followed Soul Forger and Tempest Shadow in secret when the so-called blacksmith said after receiving a mission scroll, "Huh? Finally, it's been a while since I've gotten a field mission, huh? And it's a replace one for Chronica herself?" "What's a replace mission?" asked Tempest Shadow, who was curious about this. "Well, it's a mission normally the leaders of our group handle themselves, but they let the field agents handle it if things are too busy in the office," said Soul Forger, who got both Princess Twilight and King Sombra's spirit curious. Basically, we find out someone who's about to get fixed in history by the Time Fixers, rescue them and send them to a place somewhere in the present. There's a little risk of taking them from the past because their present self will be sent. We take from the timeline. The only risk is that the Time Fixers consider the ones we help Time Ghosts too, like Pyromax and Queen Chrysalis. Wait, they aren't compatible to this timeline, said Princess Twilight in a surprised tone. Yeah, you see, in another reality, Pyromax doesn't exist in the present because he was killed by Queen Chrysalis's cruel mother before they even met, because she had the power to see into the future and knew that if her daughter ever met her, she wouldn't choose the same path as her, said Soul Forger, who gets every pony listening to her attention. In that reality, Queen Chrysalis chooses the path of evil, which leads to her invading Equestria and doing a whole bunch of bad things that make her one of the worst villains this world has ever faced. Chronica was the only one who changed her timeline and made it so she isn't like that. Max was removed from the timeline early by a friend of mine who was also a field agent to save him from the wrath of Queen Chrysalis's mother. So, if she hasn't been removed from the past timeline, she and Pyromax wouldn't have hooked up, said Princess Twilight in a whisper to King Sombra, as he appeared next to her in spirit form. You ever heard of these two groups?
Only legends. The Time Fixers are supposed to be an older group than the Time Ghosts, as they've been around since the dawn of time. But something about them makes me creeped out,
said King Sombra, who got her attention.
Like about 1,000,000 years ago, there was a great cleansing of an ancient civilization that lived in Equestria before ponies came around, and there's something about it that reminds me of this villain from the present.
Anyway, we've got a new mission, and this one is a rare one, as it goes back to a time that predates Equestria, but will still be in Equestria when it comes to it as Equestria, said Soul Forger, who was reading the contents of this mission. Apparently, someone in the past is a villain the present, but he escapes his timeline on his own by surviving whatever is causing the end of his civilization in the past. But there is someone who wasn't supposed to die, but is targeted by some anomaly that causes the end of the civilization. We're not allowed to prevent it, otherwise the time fixers will find us in the present. But I've been assigned to save the target, who apparently has a place in the present. You mean we're assigned? I'm coming too, said Tempest Shadow, who was hoping for finally some action. You're still a rookie, but okay. This is serious business, so no disobeying orders, said Soul Forger before pulling out a magical gauntlet, put it on her hoof, and then blasted a light from itself in the direction to open a portal. Come on, we can return to the present as long as we don't lose this gauntlet, or we have someone who knows how to use the time travel spell. The two went through the portal and were gone. Princess Twilight, seeing that no one was staying behind to keep watch before it closed, said, I'm going after them. I've traveled through time myself, so it should be easy.
Just how many times have you done it?
Asked King Sombra, who was curious as they approached the time portal, ready to go through it. Twice, although second time it was to save the present from Starlight, who was trying to undo the day that would lead me to meeting Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Fluttershy, and Applejack, back when she was a power-hungry villain, said Princess Twilight, before jumping through the portal with King Sombra's spirit trailing behind her. Upon exiting, she quickly hid herself in a bush with King Sombra, disappearing from sight. Okay, so according to the mission scroll, the target's name is Zell and should be in a nearby city, in a forest, said Soul Forger, before noticing her partner was looking around very confused. What are you looking for? I just noticed everything looks the same except the trees, said Tempest Shadow, before even Princess Twilight noticed that. Duh, we're still in the same spot as before. All we did was travel through time, said Soul Forger. Classic rookie stuff. We're still in Equestria, but we're about a couple of centuries from the day where the first ponies founded this land. There's little risk in coming this far back because any ancestors we might have been in another land in this timeline, so there's a little chance of erasing ourselves out of existence. According to the scroll, the city we're looking for is in ruins in the present and should be close to here. Oh, I know. It's the Lava River City from Darling Dew in the quest for the Daring Do in the quest for the Golden Draco Crown, said Tempest Shadow before they got going in toward the city. Wait, why does this sound so familiar? And why do I have a bad feeling we're being watched? They made it to the entrance to the city, only to find it crawling with creatures who looked like only one villain she could think of quickly, and to say,
Alizolto.
Bless you, said Soul Forger with a giggle. No.
Alizolto.
That's who these creatures who live in this city look like. The cat-like bodies with gorilla hands, including one on the end of their tail. They remind me of
Alizolto.
From the Darling Do series, who is one of the heroine Daring Do's most nefarious villains, said Tempest Shadow, before Soul Forger looked at the citizens of this medieval city and noticed that her description was right on. These must be his people. Wait, they are the ones that are going to face extinction. We have to help them. Rule number 1, we can only change small things in the past to have small effects on the future, said Soul Forger before hearing a snap in the bushes behind them. Look, what is coming is too big of an event to stop. It is magic-created meteor from an evil entity that wipes out their whole situation. There are many ways we can screw the present by preventing this event. Plus, if we do it, We could have an army time fixers waiting to arrest us back in the present. Okay, I get it. We can only change small things in the past to avoid getting caught and screwing up the present, said Tempest Shadow, who didn't want to screw up her first mission with Soul Forger and her boss. Soul Forger let out a sigh and said, before making her copy of her gauntlet and giving it to her apprentice, "Here's your own. Consider it your first set of gear, and it's perfect when you can't use magic. It's got a part for finding targets. We weren't given a description of Vel, but from the looks of this place, all of these creatures are the same species, so it'll be hard to find her. So our best option is to split up. The portal brought us 1 week before the event goes down. Meet me back here a week before sunup." "You got it," said Tempest Shadow, before heading into the city. "Okay, you can come out, Twilight. You can't hide forever," said Soul Forger, before a surprised Princess Twilight and King Sombra's spirit came out of hiding. "Ha! I knew it!" "What? Give me away?" "What gave me away? The stick?" asked Princess Twilight, who was very surprised. "No, my gauntlet showed 3 ponies going through the portal, and I saw your ghostly friend hiding in the bushes," said Soul Forger, who surprised even King Sombra. "Yeah, this is the reason I got recruited. I'm a medium." "A what?" asked Princess Twilight, who was confused.
A medium. It's a person who could see, hear, and talk to ghosts. Wait, that means you can hear me?
Asked King Sombra before Soul Forger nodded.
Then why didn't you tell your apprentice?
"I prefer not to show off my ability, as I can't turn off my power, and it's kind of one of the reasons I don't like to talk about my past," said Soul Forger before letting out a sigh. "Look, I'll agree to let you help me if Twilight tell me why King Sombra's spirit is following you around." "Okay, so you see, he's my real father," said Princess Twilight, after a long explanation and showing her what happened to her horn. "I see. Okay, I'll agree not to tell any pony you're going around him tied to you," said Soul Forger, before they head to the city and split